I knew there was this knock at my car window, and it was the badge, and they took me to jail.
Johnny Cash was a man known for working with some of the biggest stars in the music industry. Names like Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Bob Dylan. But there's one person Johnny Cash refused to ever work with again, and it shocked everyone who knew him. They had been friends, had toured together, and shared the stage many times. But after one explosive night, Johnny Cash drew a line in the sand and said, "No more." It wasn't about fame, money, or anything professional, it was personal. And for years, Cash kept it all a secret. Johnny didn't just quietly walk away from this person, he took things a step further. He removed every photo, every recording, and every memory associated with them. His band knew why, and so did his family. But the public never knew the real reason. It stayed buried for years, and Johnny Cash never said a word about it. No one ever got to know what really went down, until now. This decision wasn't just about professional differences, it went much deeper. The betrayal that happened wasn't about business, it was something more personal. A friend became someone Johnny Cash could no longer trust, and that would change everything. Johnny Cash and this star had a bond. They had worked together, shared stages, and even built a friendship over the years. They were more than just collaborators. They were close, they were friends. They toured together, laughed together, and had each other's backs in a business that could often feel cutthroat. So what went wrong? Why would Cash, someone who'd worked with so many legendary artists, refuse to share the stage again with this person? The answer wasn't about professional jealousy or a clash of egos, it was personal. Something happened between them that no one saw coming. The betrayal wasn't out in the open for the world to see, but it was enough to break their relationship. Johnny didn't speak about it. Instead, he quietly removed everything associated with this star, photos, recordings, anything that reminded him of their time together. For those close to him, it was clear why, but the public was kept in the dark. What's even more shocking is that Cash never once publicly named this person. He didn't want the world to know. He didn't want to drag anyone's name through the mud, but the hurt was real, and it stayed with him. That quiet decision to sever ties spoke volumes about how deeply this betrayal affected him, and how far he was willing to go to cut this person out of his life. The impact of this betrayal on Johnny Cash was deep, and it wasn't something he could just shake off. The hurt lingered, and it wasn't just about losing a friend, it was about trust. For Cash, trust was everything, especially in the world of music, where relationships often meant the difference between success and failure. This betrayal shook him to his core, and it affected him emotionally and personally. Johnny Cash, the man who sang about the struggles of life, now found himself in the middle of one of his own. As time went on, Cash made it clear that he wasn't going to let this betrayal be forgotten. He removed every piece of memorabilia, every photograph, and every record that tied him to this person. It wasn't just a casual move, it was a way of telling everyone around him that this relationship was over, and it was never going to be repaired. His band members, his family, they knew why. They understood the weight of what had happened, even if no one else did. Johnny's silence about the whole situation made it all the more powerful. He never spoke out, but his actions said it all. The betrayal had left a lasting scar, and Johnny wasn't going to let it define his future. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't something he could simply forget, but over time, he chose to focus on what mattered most to him: his music, his family, and the people who truly had his back. Johnny Cash's decision to remain silent about the betrayal only added to the mystery. Why didn't he speak out? Why did he choose to keep everything so private, especially when he had every right to reveal the truth? It's clear that Johnny didn't want to drag anyone's reputation through the mud, and he didn't want to give the public any more reason to gossip. But in choosing silence, he only deepened the intrigue. Fans and media alike were left wondering, what really happened? For years, the truth stayed hidden. Johnny Cash's quiet removal of this person from his life made people curious, but Cash never gave any answers. Perhaps he thought it was better to move on without making a spectacle. But as time passed, the story only got more mysterious. The betrayal remained something whispered about behind closed doors, but Johnny never gave the public the closure they wanted. Instead, it remained buried with him. Now, all these years later, the truth is finally coming to light. It's a story that's been hidden for far too long, and it changes the way we look at Johnny Cash. This isn't just about a man who lost a friend. It's about a man who stood up for what he believed in, even when it meant losing something or someone important. The question now is, will we ever know the full truth, or will it remain locked away forever? So, is Johnny Cash's refusal to work with his star just a small piece of his legacy, or is there more to the story that we still don't know? The truth behind the betrayal may never fully come to light, and it's left us all wondering if Cash's silence was a final act of defiance or simply a way to protect his own peace. Either way, it only adds to the complexity of Johnny Cash's life and legacy. But here's the real question. Did this betrayal affect Johnny Cash's career in ways we'll never understand? Would things have turned out differently if the truth had been revealed sooner? We'll never know for sure, but one thing is certain. The story of Johnny Cash continues to captivate and intrigue fans around the world. What do you think? Do you believe we'll ever know the full truth, or is this a mystery that will stay buried? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more shocking revelations about your favorite stars.